Hello everybody, this is an instructional video on how to use commas. When and where do we use commas? The 7 rules. I've got the 7 rules listed here and we're going to go move through those methodically, and there is some terminology, but I'll explain the terminology as we go along, and there are activities for you to do as well. As we're going along, please take a moment to pause the video so that you can try the tasks that I'm asking you to do. So the first rule is using commas to separate items in a list. This includes using a list of adjectives. So your task is to write a list of your favourite films, video games or books and include commas being used correctly. Here is my example. My favourite films are North by Northwest, Blade Runner and The Matrix. And here is my example of a list of adjectives. The monster was a green, hairy, ugly beast. Okay, number 2, before a coordinating conjunction. A coordinating conjunction is a word that joins phrases and clauses. So when you've got any of these words that are joining clauses, such as my example here, I really enjoy college, but I can't wait for the weekend. When we use one of those coordinating conjunctions, we want a comma beforehand. So you could write one of these and be sure to use your commas, and the topic can be describing your surroundings. Here's my example. I am at home, but I can hear the birds singing outside. Number 3, using commas after an introductory adverb. These ones are really simple. If you start a sentence with an adverb, you place a comma after it. So you could write one of these to describe how you feel at the moment. Here is my example. Honestly, I feel like I could do with another cup of tea. Number 4, use a comma after you have directly addressed someone. We're going to write one of these addressed to the person next to us. Barry, where are the keys? If you address the person at the end of the sentence, it's the same. You still use a comma to separate their name. Where are the keys, Barry? Number 5 is the simplest one yet. You use a comma to separate items in a date. Here's my example, the 29th of November, 1982. Okay, rule number 6 and the final one for adding extra information. To use these commas, you need to know clauses. You need to know the difference between a main clause and a dependent clause. A main clause, as you can see, is the part of the sentence that makes sense by itself. And the dependent clause is a part of the sentence that depends on the main clause to make sense. If part of your sentence is a dependent clause, it is attached with a comma. Some of these clauses, in case you were wondering, can be put in the middle of a sentence. Because these are tough, we should practice. As you can see, I've got a main clause in each of these examples and a dependent clause, and the main and dependent clauses are always separated by commas, even when the dependent clause is put in the middle of the main clause. Okay, I'm sure we've achieved number 7 by now. I do hope this has been useful and hope to see you again soon.